Hello, this is the first part of a video series I want to make going over my Ableton project files for an album I released in 2023 called The Gods of Pegana. And it's the longest album I've made. It's the work I'm the most proud of. And if you use Ableton, you could maybe find some useful information in these guides as I go over some of the techniques I've used to achieve the sounds in these songs. So let's get into it. Got the start right here. And let's just listen to the intro here.
In the mists before the beginning, fate and chance cast lots to decide whose the game should be. And he that won strode through the mists to Mana-Yood-Sushai and said, "Young man of God's son, so I have won the castle, and the game is to be mine." Who it was that won the castle, and whether it was fate or whether chance that went through the mists before the beginning to Mana-Yood-Sushai, none knoweth.
Alright, so we'll stop it there. That's the intro to this song, Mana-Yood-Sushai, and let's first listen to that sample. And we're gonna solo this track right here, and this is where my sample's at. And it is a sample from the audiobook, The Gods of Pegana, which is on, I found on LibriVox.org, which is a website that has a bunch of public domain audiobooks. If you ever want samples or you're looking for samples, it's a great place to find samples because you got thousands of audiobooks that are on all of the recordings are public domain, so you can take them, do whatever you want with them. I really like going there for samples, especially from books that I enjoy. Which this is a cool book here, The Gods of Pegana. All right, so let's just solo this, listen to this track, and see what I got going on it.
In the mists before the beginning, fate and chance cast lots to...
So it looks like in the effects chain here, I have a pitch loop, which is a pack I get in Ableton with Ableton Suite, because I have Ableton 11 Suite, and it is sweet because I have so many packs that just come with Suite, and this is one of them, the pitch loop. And what the pitch loop does is in this instance I'm not really using it because normally you use it to pitch up or pitch down audio, and then you can layer that with the you can make that all 100%, get your 100% wet
to decide whose the game should be,
or layer the dry in there. Let's actually hear what it sounds like without it, because I'm trying to hear
before the beginning, fate and chance.
It just kind of makes it sound more digital a little bit, because we are getting snippets of that audio, playing it a little bit before or after, I guess, a little bit after the original audio is playing, and then it's going left and right at different intervals after the original plays. And then you kind of get some little, like, granular textures from the original audio. So we'll go 100% wet and hear what that's making it sound like.
The mists before the beginning, fate and chance cast lots.
This is dry.
The game should be. And he that won strode through the mists to Mana-Yood.
So I kind of do a blend of those two. And right there, I literally just, this is in Ableton's in their clip. Here, I'm gonna move me over here. In their clip editor, or like their audio clip editor that they have here. This is literally, I pitched it up and then I think consolidated it. So the pitch isn't turned up here, but that's what I did with this track. I pitched it up and then just consolidated the track, which is Control J, or you can right click and then click consolidate. And what that does is if you have a really long audio file, it takes the snippet that you've highlighted and makes a new audio file that is just the length of the snippet that you have selected, and that's the audio file. You have no extra audio. It helps with performance if you have really long audio files and you need like to just use a little bit of a super long audio file. It really helps to consolidate the file because it helps with performance, because Ableton doesn't have to like process that whole audio file. It's like just this 5 seconds of audio here instead of like the whole, 30-minute like audio track.
In the mists before the beginning.
Let's see what else I did. I have this this preset audio effects rack called Rec, which stands for required. It's I use it a lot. It's basically just a utility, a graphic EQ, compressor, another graphic EQ, and then another utility. It looks like I'm turning it up before the EQ, and then here's what I'm doing on the EQ. I have a, what is that? Frickin', what do they call that? Frickin' little notch right there at around 7,400 fucking hertz or 7.42 kilohertz, just to get rid of some of those S's.
Before the beginning, fate and chance.
We'll get rid of that and hear what it sounds like.
In the mists before the beginning, fate and chance cast lots to decide whose the game should be.
And then this compressor really isn't doing anything. I mean, the compressor's literally not doing anything. It's just in the rack, so this compressor is just not doing anything right now.
In the mists before the beginning,
and then looks like I'm doing a what frickin' high pass filter and boosting around 2,000 hertz
before the beginning, fate and
just to bring out those samples.
Before the beginning, fate and chance.
And then I'm throwing an OTT on there, which the OTT really brings out all of those textures in the pitch loop. So if we turn that OTT down, it's going to sound a lot different.
In the mists before the beginning, fate and chance cast lots to decide whose the game should be. And he that won.
I really like the sound of the OTT. It's basically, it's just a multi-band compressor that is boosted to the max. It's compressing anything below where is that? Anything below minus 40 dB is being boosted up to shit, and anything after minus 35 is being super compressed down.
In the mists before the beginning, fate and chance cast lots to decide whose the game should be. And he that won strode through.
Or it's being compressed.
Before the beginning, fate and chance cast lots.
Yeah, it's just being fucking brick walled.
In the mists before the beginning.
And then I'm turning it up. So I really like all the textures that the OTT brings out. This is a technique I use a lot in a lot of these songs, is using a pitch loop and then an OTT on the vocals, or on the samples I'm using. So that's pretty much the whole effects chain on that sample. Let's go over to some of the pads here that are playing in the beginning.
In the mists before the beginning, fate and chance cast lots.
Oh, and I also am sending this to another pitch loop. Okay. So I have we will show the automation here, and here's the automation I have on this track, which is the amount I'm sending to this send right here, which is a pitch loop, a reverb, another pitch loop, which is at 0 dry wet, so that's not doing anything. And then another pitch loop, which is at 100. So we're actually just going to delete that because it's not even doing anything. And then a pitch hack, which also isn't doing anything. I mean, I don't think I had automation on it. It doesn't look like I have any automation on it. It was probably when I was messing with the send and trying to get the sound I wanted. I just threw it on there, didn't like it, turned it down. And then obviously an OTT. So really it's a pitch loop, reverb, another pitch loop, and an OTT. And we will solo this and hear kind of what that sounds like.
And whether it was fate or...
So yes, sounds pretty freaking cool. But let's listen to those pads, which is right now just this track and this track. It doesn't look like I have anything else going on.
In the mists before the beginning, fate and chance cast lots to decide whose the game should be.
We'll turn that off just so we can listen to the pads. And I'll move myself over here for a little bit so we can see these tracks. Right there, it looks like I have another clip that It's kind of what I use to simulate the voice of fate or chance, you know.
And he that won
the lot.
And he that won strode through the mists to Mana-Yood-Sushai and said,
but this pad here, it is a patch called, or it's a VST. It's the Lab Spitfire Audio VST. This is free. This is a free VST. It's great. A lot of cool ambient sounds in this. Just look up Labs VST. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be able to find this exact VST right here. The patch I'm using is a Siren Song, which is somewhere on here, but it sounds really cool. Here's the presets, or here are my values on this patch. Not too many knobs to mess around with, but this is what I got. So it's that, and then literally just an OTT. So super compressed, with pretty much 40% on the dry wet. And we're gonna solo that and listen to that by itself. Yeah, pretty cool. And it's also being sent to that same send that I was sending this audio to as well, the pitch loop. Just fuckulating it up a little bit more.
In the
And we'll also listen to this beginning synth, which is all that high-end, weird, wonky stuff. And this is from Sweet. This is a pack I get from Sweet. It is the Classic Synths pack. That's where I'm getting most of this sound from here. It looks like I tried to do something with like some randomization that I ended up not using. So we're gonna delete this, we're gonna delete that, we're gonna delete that. Really, I just have a velocity scaler so that my velocity is more consistent in this range, because I played all these on a keyboard, but sometimes the velocity can be all over the place if you play with a MIDI keyboard. So this velocity effect, MIDI effect in Ableton will like smooth out or really just alter the velocity of the notes that are being played in really any way you want. Looks like it's literally just this and then a compressor, and I have a side chain to the pad. So whenever this pad is being played, this synth is ducking down a little bit. So the pad is really more prominent. It kind of makes it feel a little wavy, you know, because whenever the pad plays, the lead synth kind of goes down a little bit. Cool. And we're pretty much at the intro of this song, so let's keep going.
When Mana-Yood-Sushai had made the gods, there were only the gods, and they sat in the middle of time, for there was as much time before them as behind them, which having no end.
Alright, so we'll go over that whole transition right there. Let's see what I did. So I have the pads, and then this is just gain automation, turning down this synth during this section. And this track here is my little glitchy audio track, which if we look at the effects here, I have a gate that gets turned on never. So that's not really doing anything. And then my required patch, which is mono, it's monoing this audio file. And then I have a crazy frickin' bandpass filter here, which is cutting all the lows, a lot of the super highs, and really just leaving those high mids, mid highs. And this sound, I honestly forget where I got this sound from. It looks like I'm also pitching it up 7 or 7 half steps. So let's actually pitch it back down and hear it. Yeah, it was so long ago I made this song. I can't remember how I got that sound or where I got that sound from, but I got it from somewhere. Ooh, and then I have this dizziness, which is making it like freak out left and right. And then I have an LFO, which is set to this width control right here. And in Ableton, the reason I love Ableton is because you are able to just take LFOs and put them on any parameter you want to modulate. So this is just a sine wave that's it. It's just a sine wave going pretty slow, modulating this width parameter. Oh, and looks like I do have some automation here. Opening it up at the end, dragging this. Here, this one. This is the one. Opening it up here, and then bringing it down, bring it up. Yep, and that transitions into my next section.
Only the gods, and they sat in the middle of time, for there was as much time before.
And here's the vocal track I have here.
When Mana-Yood-Sushai had made the gods,
which I also believe. Yep, I just have an auto filter here, which this is basically the same as like having a graphic EQ that has like a what frickin' low pass. It cuts off the high end and brings it
when Mana-Yood-Sushai had made the gods, there were only the gods, and they sat in the middle of time, for there was as much time before them as behind them, which having no end had neither of days.
So that's what that's doing, and both those together, you know, gives the effect of like kind of a nice fade transition into my next section, which is this audio glitch noise. And this is also another technique that I like to do quite a bit, which is I put a gate on a sound. This normally works the best when like the sound that you're using this for is like almost the same volume level. It helps if you like compress if it's not, you can like compress the sound a lot before your gate, but you put the threshold of the gate pretty much at like right at the where it starts to cut on and off kind of seemingly randomly, and then you turn the attack way down, you turn the hold way down, you turn the release way down, you make sure that floor is 0, so when the gate's on you're hearing nothing, and then you get kind of this. Here, we'll turn it off and you'll hear the difference. But since this is just like a looping audio, the gate, when it's right at that threshold there, it makes a rhythm. So that's what the gate is doing there. We will re-enable the automation. And then I have an EQ that's cutting off some lows and a pitch loop, which obviously I love the pitch loop. -12, so I'm pitching everything down 12 half steps. And then an OTT at 3%, so it's not doing a lot, but texturing the sound just slightly. And that kind of carries this section for a little bit, because it's really just this, and then another of this classic synth here, where I am playing, what chord is this? This is a, what is that, a G, F sharp, B, and then an A. Dude, if I had it always helps to have a keyboard in front of you. I think that's just a G, B, it's a G major 9. Yep. Pretty much just a G major 9 with no fifth. And I have this arpeggiator here, which is arpeggiating those notes because all I'm doing is holding it. Arpeggiating those notes, I have this blue here, which, if you don't know what this effect does, is it basically, whenever an MIDI note is played, there's a 100% chance that it's going to be randomized, and it will be randomized within a range of +7 or -7 half steps. And then the velocity is like tamed or quantized. Like, not really quantized, but the velocity is forced to be in this range depending on where it actually is when I played the note. And then I have a scale here, which is making sure that no like wrong notes are being played. Because if I turn the scale off, it's just completely random all over the place. The scale makes it so that you can force certain MIDI notes to be played when other ones are played. So it's like I'm making it so that only this looks like I have some pentatonic scale that I have on here. So all of those random notes are now forced to be in this scale instead of just like whatever they actually are. They're forced to be in this scale here. And if I'd guess, it's probably a D, like, pentatonic scale, just because I normally like to do that with a major 7. If I have any type of major 7, you start on the 5th, do a pentatonic scale, and like, no matter what you play, it's gonna sound good. So that's what I'm guessing. I'm not actually sure. It could be something else. Not gonna go through that right now. Not what I'm doing in this. We're not doing a theory video. You know, we can in the future maybe if people really want it, but right now I'm just doing an overview of this. It looks like I turn it up, have this required, you know, audio effect that really isn't doing anything. Like, all I'm doing is turning it up. I really don't need any of this on there right now. So with both of them, okay, this isn't doing anything. I have it turned off. But now we're gonna get into some actual melody stuff. We'll stop that there just to go over what just went on over here. And this project is by no means in any way organized at all. Like, this is just the state the project was in when I exported the final like bounce of what I wanted to master. So yeah, a lot of like same colored tracks, duplicated tracks not called the right thing, like, because I'm taking MIDI clips from other tracks, like, and just putting them here, and yeah, not organized at all. Like, tracks where nothing's going on, just empty tracks, stuff like that. But let's listen to those pads or those leads. I have this surge, which This is I think this is an older version of Surge, but Surge is another free VST synth that I'm not great at because it's got a lot of knobs and a lot of I'm all right at music production and like signal flow and stuff, but I really have not watched a tutorial on this synth, and sometimes it's kind of confusing all the different things that you can do here. But it's got a shit ton of patches, and this is just a patch I liked, so I don't think I really messed with this patch a whole lot. So this patch is, what was this called? Rusty. And looks like I got the OTT on it, turning it up a little bit, doing like some mid-side stuff where I'm turning up the sides in the 1.4 kilohertz range. So I got that, and then this, which is also not Surge. This is the OBXD, which is also a free synth. So you want some free synths? You download these. The OBXD, this is a really fun one. Because it's a lot simpler than the Surge. But you can get a lot of super cool sounds from this. So those two together. And these are part of a group that is literally not doing anything. I'm turning it up 2 dB for some reason. And sending it to this send here, which is doing this kind of redux, which is like bit reduction and a convolution reverb. And all that's going on while, my arpeggiator is happening. And my little, like, gate rhythmic sound. Alright, before we get into all that, let's see where some of these sounds are coming from. What is this? More of that. Where are the drums? Where are the drums coming from? Oh, right here. So it looks like this is a breakbeat clip, audio clip in Ableton that I have cut up to shit. And like, looks like I fucked with the what are those called? Transients. Like warping it, because I doubt this is how it sounded originally. Now, I never really liked how the drums sounded on this track, honestly. Like, my big complaint of this is like that the low end just isn't that great. And it looks like the side chain, I don't know where the side chain is coming from. If ever. 29. Side chain is just coming from this track. So I bet this is what it actually sounds like. Like this track is supposed to sound like this beat here. Which that's just turned down 6 dB and like I'm compressing it a little bit and doing a little bit of EQ, but that's pretty much it. But let's go to some of these patches here, doing some more melodic stuff. Another, this is a synth 1 actually, which I fucking love this synth. Synth 1 BST. If you can find this, get it. A friend of mine tried to download it and it just wouldn't work, or like I think they couldn't find it or something. I love this synth. It's super simple. And it sounds really fucking good. Free, if you can find it. And then this, what is this doing? Oh, this is another classic synth. And then what is this here? Another classic synth, all together now. And it looks like I have the OTT on them. And some LFO panning, some random LFO panning on both of these. And that's it on these two tracks. That's pretty much all that's going on there, though. It's just the drums and those synth patches. It looks like a lot more than there actually is, just because of all the emptiness here. And then I have a weird little transition, which where is that coming from? There's like a... There's somewhere where somewhere's doing a lot of this, the heavy work of this transition here. Cause where is that? Is that just from this? I think so. Like, where am I getting like that reverse stuff? Probably here. Yup, I have this crazy artificial dry wet, it looks like. Which this artificial dry wet is a audio, it's like this audio effects rack I made where it's pretty much, it lets me make a dry wet out of like whatever I want. So the dry looks like isn't really dry at all. But it lets me mix two effects, like two effects, like racks, and blend them together. And that looks like what's going on here. To sound like this. So that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and then this reverse. And then this is where the side chain on all of this comes in. And the side chain is coming from this kick right here. This kick. So we'll go back and listen to that one more time. That's pretty much the whole song. We'll go over that ending section in just a second, but this is just the outro that I made very quickly to blend the song into the next one. Because on this album, like, if you listen from start to finish, all of the songs seamlessly blend into each other. And that's the end of this song, but we'll go over this ending section here. So it looks like I have this synth 1, and then another synth 1. So these are both synth 1s. This one's got some arpeggiation in the patch here in the synth. Right there on the arpeggiator, turn that off, now it's just holding it out. Bam, got that arpeggiation of just the single notes. Let's hear this. Now we got a pad, got this pad outlining. You're like holding those chords, supporting these synths. Got this lead. So other than the drums, this is all that's going on right now. And not doing a whole lot of processing with this, really just the OTT does like most of everything. Alright, let's bring in some of these other synths. Which this again is more classic synth here. Bring in his buddy. And these guys, I think, are literally just duplicated MIDI tracks, but they're panned left and right, which is also a technique you can use to make like synth leads sound a little more robust. And then with the chords, which these are coming from the OBX here, these chords right here. And with this weird pad, and we're almost bringing everything in. Just the drums is really what's out now. But the drums kind of bring it all together. But honestly, like, the drums are my least favorite part of this song. Just, I think, still sounds really thin, like, even with the drums in. The low end just doesn't hit in this one. It's one of my complaints of this song, or regrets. But it's out, so it is what it is. And that's the track. That is Mana-Yood-Sushai. It took about 45 minutes to go through that. Lightly. Let us clarify it has been lightly looked over. if you like this video, you like the Ableton project file overviews, I'll be doing these for the rest of the songs in this album, which is about, it's like, I think it's got 15 songs. Some of these songs are a lot better than this one. I think this is one of the weaker ones on this album, but it's cool. It's still cool. It's got a nice cool galactic vibe a little bit, you know, one could say. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thumbs up, comment if you like it, if you have any questions about this stuff, or maybe something you want me to go over in further detail, let me know. And oh yeah, I guess I'd never looked at the master chain here, so we'll look at this really quick. Looks like I literally just turned it down 5 dB and then have like a multi-band comp that's doing this. And that's it. And that's all I'm doing on the master. But yeah, next song will be Scarl. This is just a bounce of the song, but we will go over the project file. I like Scarl. Scarl's a fun one. It's a really pretty song. Yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one.